Today, we're going to dig into the hidden psychology of intelligence. We're going to challenge a lot of our common ideas about what being smart actually looks and feels like, and this all comes straight from psychological research.
So let me ask you, what does a genius really look like? When you hear that word, what's the first image that pops into your head? Is it someone from a movie? Maybe a famous historical figure? Just hold that picture in your mind, because that question is right at the heart of what we're talking about.
I'm willing to bet that for most of you, the image is of someone who's super polished, right? Someone who's always confident, who speaks flawlessly, and just never ever seems to have a moment of doubt. That's the stereotype we've all been fed.
But here's where it gets really interesting. What if psychology actually shows us that the real signs of high intelligence are, well, kind of messy? What if they show up as behaviors that we often misunderstand, or even see as flat-out negative traits?
All right, so let's dive into these misunderstood signs. We're going to reframe 3 very common behaviors that, on the surface, seem negative, but might actually point to a mind that's working on a much deeper level.
Okay, first on the list, overthinking. We all know this one, right? It's that spiral of worry, getting totally stuck in your head, playing out every worst-case scenario. We've all been told it's just a bad habit, a sign of anxiety.
But from a cognitive psychology standpoint, it's not just anxiety. It's actually a form of deep processing. For a highly intelligent mind, it's about running simulations. They're not just thinking about a problem. They're exploring every possible outcome, every consequence, every single thing that could go wrong. It's like a strategic mental chess game.
So what about this one, social withdrawal? You know, when someone is quiet in a group or just prefers to spend a lot of time alone, it's so easy to label them, isn't it? Oh, they must be shy or insecure or maybe even arrogant, like they think they're too good for everyone.
Well, psychology gives us a totally different angle. Real deep thinking needs quiet. It needs mental space, free from distraction. You can't solve a complex problem or have a breakthrough idea in a loud, chaotic environment. So that silence, it isn't insecurity, it's concentration. It's a necessary tool for their mind to do its work.
And then there's self-doubt. This one feels like the ultimate weakness, doesn't it? It's seen as a total lack of confidence. And in our world, where we're told to be confident all the time, doubt looks like a personal failing.
But here's the paradox of real intelligence. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. A truly intelligent person sees the complexity, they see the nuance, they see all the gaps in their own understanding. So that self-doubt isn't weakness. It's actually intellectual humility. It's a sign that you're seeing the whole complicated picture.
Okay, so let's flip this around. Now that we've seen how some strengths can be misunderstood as weaknesses, let's talk about the habits that psychology genuinely connects to lower cognitive performance. These are the real traps you want to avoid.
And the big one here is something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You've probably heard of it. It's a cognitive bias where, to put it simply, people are so incompetent at something that they literally can't see their own incompetence. They have no idea how much they don't know. And that leads to this really dangerous, totally unearned confidence. So here are 4 of those anti-patterns to watch out for. Number 1, just reacting without thinking. That's a huge red flag for poor impulse control. 2, repeating the same mistakes over and over but always blaming someone else. That shows a real lack of self-awareness. 3, talking way more than you listen, which just cuts you off from learning anything new. And finally, number 4, being absolutely certain you're the smartest person in the room. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect in action.
Now, this all leads to what I think is the most exciting part. Psychology is really clear on this. Intelligence is not some fixed thing you're born with. You can absolutely train your brain to work better, to think more effectively. And here's how you do it.
Research shows that certain habits can literally build new pathways in your brain. Things like forcing yourself to read stuff that feels difficult, or always asking why to understand the system behind something. Or try this. Try to explain a really complex idea in simple terms. That forces you to understand it on a deeper level. You also want to get in the habit of questioning your own thinking and calmly reviewing your mistakes instead of just getting defensive about them.
But look, if you only take one single thing away from this today, make it this one. The most powerful habit you can build is to create a tiny bit of space between something happening and you reacting to it. Just pause for a second. That tiny gap is where rational thought lives. It gives the smart, thinking part of your brain a chance to catch up with your gut impulse. And over time, that tiny habit will dramatically change the quality of your decisions.
So, as we wrap up our look at the hidden psychology of intelligence, I just want to leave you with one last question to chew on.
After everything we've just talked about, which of your habits, maybe one you've always thought of as weird or negative, might actually be a sign of your brain working in a deep, powerful way? It's definitely something to think about.